Joined tonight by Colorado Republican Congressman Ken Buck. Congressman, thank you for joining us from Capitol Hill. I mean, as you know, there are just days left before the government runs out of funding. The last we checked, our reporting is that Speaker McCarthy's latest bill still does not have even the Republican votes that it needs. Is it clear to you tonight what his plan is?
It's not clear. What I do know is that this is more of the same type of theater that we've seen in the past. When we had a debt ceiling problem, we ran it right up until the end, and then we spent too much money. I anticipate that we will do the same thing here. We will run it right up until the end. We may shut down for a few days, and then a bill will come to the floor that has too much spending in it. It will get Democrat votes. It'll get a lot of Republican votes. It'll pass. People will feel relieved that we're no longer shut down. The reality is people should be more upset that we've spent too much money.
So you think a shutdown is inevitable at this point?
I think it is likely. I don't know that it's inevitable, but whatever word you used, but I do think it's likely.
And it sounds like you think nothing will be gained from it ultimately for your party.
Oh, no, absolutely not. And it's really part of the same pattern that we've seen for the last 27 years. We have not passed 12 appropriations bills in the House and the Senate for 27 years in a row, and everybody makes it sound like this is such a surprise. We've actually known that September 30th is the same day on the calendar, and it has been for years. And so we know when that day is coming, and we do nothing to anticipate it.
Obviously, politics are at play here. It's Capitol Hill. You know that better than me. But is it clear to you why Speaker McCarthy is coming out? He's blaming President Biden. He's blaming the Senate when it's House Republicans who can't agree and can hardly pass anything.
Well, there's a lot of finger pointing going on. President Biden has blamed Republicans for what's going on at the border. Kevin McCarthy has blamed Democrats for what's going on with spending. The truth is that there is a bipartisan bankruptcy going on right now. We spend too much money. We've got to find a way to reduce that spending. But no, we should have had a plan. We should have been working on appropriations bills and passing them in June and July before we took our August recess. So we came back in September, things would be ready to go.
You said you think a shutdown is likely. You didn't want to say inevitable. Your Republican colleague, Congressman Ralph Norman, noted today government workers will continue to get paid, but, I mean, really, they'll just get back pay. They won't actually get a current paycheck if the shutdown goes on. As you know, the majority of the people in this country live paycheck to paycheck. I mean, is that a comment of someone who understands what the consequences of a government shutdown would actually be?
Yeah, so Kaitlan, what happens is government workers will get a paycheck on September 30th. Since that happens on a weekend, they'll actually get that direct deposit to their bank account this Friday. So they will be good for 2 weeks until the next check is due on the 15th of the month. And so in that case, they will be paid while they are working. Now, that's not ideal. I'm not excusing the behavior of Congress for not passing these bills, but we're not talking about people who are living paycheck to paycheck that can't make ends meet during that time period. They will be whole for a period of 10 days, 14 days. The key is to make sure that if we do have a shutdown, it only lasts a few days so that those workers don't get hurt in the long run.
Yeah, but if you're those workers and you're watching what's been happening on Capitol Hill, that's not really reassuring that I got 2 more weeks of my paycheck in my bank account, but who knows what's going to happen after that?
Absolutely. It's not reassuring, and I don't mean to suggest that this body is anything but dysfunctional. I do want to make sure that we get things done. Hopefully we don't have a shutdown. If we do, it is short-lived, and we get people back to work and back to their families with some security.
You've said that you believe Speaker McCarthy needs to accept responsibility. At this point, would you support a motion to remove McCarthy from his role, from his job, if he doesn't and can't lead the conference through this?
I am not supporting that at this point. I don't know who else there is. This is one of the most miserable jobs in America. Trying to take 434 other egos and bring them together to find 218 votes is not easy. I don't relish the opportunity to see anybody else in that position. I think Kevin is doing his best to manage a very difficult situation. I think it could have been managed better. But I still think that there is a need to maintain continuity and leadership through this year so that we see that we can pass bills, we can get this government funded. We're sending the right message to our adversaries in Russia and China, and we are not backing down from the challenges that we have in this country on the border and in other ways.
A noted voice of support saying, that is a question, who else could get 218. Congressman, one other aspect of this is my colleagues Melanie Zanona and Andy Greyer are reporting tonight that House Republicans are apparently planning on moving ahead with their impeachment inquiry, which formally starts tomorrow, even in the event of a government shutdown. Is that a good look for your party?
I disagreed with the idea of walking through an impeachment inquiry at this point. We have 3 committees. They're doing great work looking at Hunter Biden's activities, seeing if there's a nexus to Joe Biden's activities. I don't like calling it an impeachment inquiry. It is oversight. It's what we're supposed to be doing. But no, I think that our sole focus should be on this funding issue. We should make sure that we're funded through the next fiscal year. And at that point, once we are funded, and it won't be with a continuing resolution, it will be with a larger bill, but once we are funded, then let's get back to our oversight and make sure that we're doing the job that the people expect us to do.
Republican Congressman Ken Buck, a lot going on in those hallways behind you. Thank you for taking the time to join us tonight.
Thank you, Kaitlan.
Maybe not a lot going on, I guess I should say. We'll see where it goes from here. Congressman, thank you. Meanwhile, tonight, a rare diplomatic win between the United